Hello and good evening, everybody. This is your Paranormal Sisterhood, and we are back with you again tonight. How are you girls doing over there? Y'all staying warm?
Ooh, gonna have to try. It's cold.
Yeah.
I tell you, it has been. I ain't even got a word for the craziness around here. Lord have mercy. What was it? 16 degrees last night?
It was, and like 8 wind chill this morning.
Ah,
It was
girls,
awful. You go
It
to
was
are we
brutal.
sleep.
in Florida?
It was
Are we in
brutal.
Florida?
I didn't even want to put my big toe outside the door. I just was really like, I'm gonna have to put a sweater on my toe. I mean, it
Oh
was
my
bad. It
God,
was bad.
girls!
I felt like
It's
I was back up north or something.
well, I
You know
love
what?
the cold weather, but 16 degrees and an 8-degree chill
It's
factor. No, 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 no,
too
no,
much. Well, yesterday
no.
morning it was wet, and the steps of the RV were slippery. Today it wasn't as
Oh,
bad, but it was brutal cold.
I can imagine.
Be
It's
careful with them
been
steps, let me tell you.
Yep.
mm, right.
Yeah,
I
when
can
I lived
remember.
up north, I kept cat litter in my um, car
Uh huh.
because if you
Yeah.
ever got stuck in snow, cat litter was good to give your tires traction.
Yep.
And then you could also put it on your stairs if you didn't have salt to help
Right.
you get
Mm,
down. It gave you some traction. So I always had cat litter in my
I was
car,
going to
whether I
say
had a cat or not. I had
that's a
cat
better
litter in the car.
that is a better choice than salt too.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's good to know, Sylvia.
Yeah.
It's good to
Fun
know.
facts to know and tell right here.
Yeah, the
Did
sisterhood,
you
man. Got to keep
did you
each other.
see Did you see the post that I made about? I think it was the ice trucks over in Louisiana, and then in the back of the truck, like they do the salt on the road. It was Tony
Yeah,
Chaudhry's.
right, right. Yeah, I think a friend of ours that lives in Notasulga stole that from you. We're mutual
Yeah,
friends.
that's okay.
One of the
Yeah,
guys we went to high school with, I think. So.
yeah. That wouldn't be
Somebody
Harold, would
posted
it?
Yeah, it would. You know how
And
he's
all
a
the
man
things. Yeah.
and all the
somebody
things.
posted
I
something
know.
on Facebook about Nick Saban retiring, and then you know what froze over. So that was that was one of the things they
Yeah, that's
posted on
funny.
Facebook.
Uh,
Oh,
well,
funny.
everybody, we want to welcome you to the show. We just kind of just jumped in there because of these freezing temperatures. I mean, hell has definitely frozen over. So, but tonight, you got to meet three of the sisters the other night, the other Wednesday night last week. And tonight we have the one that was MIA, missing in action. Sylvia, tell everybody hello and say something to them.
Hi, my name is Sylvia.
Hey, ghost hunting housewives. Hold on. Hey, girls.
I'm a preacher's kid, a PK. My
Yeah.
dad was a minister. I grew up in the Methodist Church. Um, I'm new to all of this, so I'm coming at it from a position of faith and open mindedness,
Yes.
Yeah.
and a willingness to learn.
Hmm.
And I feel like if you view anything that if you view it with God in the center, then everything's possible. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Anything's possible. Wait a
and
minute.
so that's kind of where I'm coming from with this. And I have one son. He lives all the way out in California, works out in California. So it's just me, myself, and I. But I've got three great sisters that I hang with these days, and we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, we are. I can't thank the powers that be, the spirits, or whatever. Excuse me. I've got indigestion tonight, y'all. So if I do that every now and then, I'm not dying. I just got indigestion, but I'm thankful for the sisterhood. Never have I ever been met by three beautiful women that just love me for who I am, all of my craziness, all of my madness. I mean, it's just amazing. Oh, the girls said, it's cold. Oh God, babies. Yeah, it is cold.
It is
It is
cold.
so cold. Let's see. Um, I'm gonna have to bring you closer because we're on our phones.
Yeah. I didn't.
Well, I
Yep,
think one of
Founder
the
Carol's
biggest
in
things,
Niceville.
I think one of the biggest things that this world needs is women lifting up women.
Absolutely.
Yes,
You sometimes you don't
definitely.
see that. You see sometimes a lot of the cattiness that may be involved,
Ooh,
that kind
girl.
of thing. But women lifting up women, if we want to
Yes.
make a change in the world, that's the best thing we can do.
And you
Yep.
know this, and the thing is, we don't always agree. We don't want
Exactly.
people
Mhm.
thinking we agree. We have very different opinions on things. I mentioned to Sandy, our absentee sister tonight. In fact, I asked if she was going
Yeah.
to make it and didn't hear back, but she's cruising around the globe.
Yep.
And
She's on that ship. Yep.
but I mean, there are many things that we don't agree about, and that's what makes us a cumulative, where we can discuss things, but we're not upset with each other. We're not angry with each other. You just disagree. You do it agreeably, and then you're like, okay, where do I
Yeah.
go from here? It's a journey. It is a
Yeah.
paranormal journey and a spiritual
Exactly.
journey. Yeah.
Spiritual journey. That's why I named the show like I did because it is truly a spiritual journey of sisterhood. So
Yes.
yeah, it's great. It's great, great, great. Well, tonight, well, let me back up. Let me back the choo choo up. It's been a crazy week. I have been, and Mary and Sylvia, all three of us, because Sandy's on her cruise. We're leaving her be, letting her enjoy her time. But we have been working. We've been working, working, working. I have me and Stan have been working together, and we've got an impressive lineup for you guys. We are already booked. I have one more date in the month of April before we would be booking into May, and that's extremely impressive. Um, Want to thank the ones that have reached out to me, the ones that I have reached out to. They have been very responsive, and they've jumped on the train. They punched their ticket and they're ready to go for the show. So that's amazing. Yeah, it is amazing. I want to
It is.
thank you
That's
guys.
awesome.
Oh, and thank you to all the listeners and the followers already. They have been texting me every single day, wanting me to confirm their friend request. I mean, just alone today, I accepted 71 friend requests
Wow. That's
just today.
fantastic.
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
That is
So I'm
great.
looking really forward to the show, going to new heights and different places, and I'm excited to be with my sisters. I feel
Me
like it's
too.
right. Yeah, it's right. And we're going to go up from here. Okay. Um, well, tonight's show, let me get into it. Let's get started on this. Now, there are other uh, people that have talked for years on podcast shows and things like that about aliens, okay? Aliens, aliens, aliens. And yes, I believe for one in aliens. Do you, Mary?
Well, I'm not sure. I do believe in aliens, but I'm not really sure that we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah. You
I
mean in tonight or for tonight's topic or in general?
For tonight's topic.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm there with you too on that, and I'm sure
Yeah.
Sylvia is too. How do you feel about aliens, Sylvia?
Um, I think it would be kind of silly to think we're the only ones in the universe.
Yes, I do
So,
too.
yeah, I do believe there's other lives out there, other, entities that we don't know about. They may be on other planets. I don't know. But I don't believe that we're in this universe alone for
Or
sure.
No,
dimensional. I mean, we really don't. Yeah.
I don't
Exactly.
either. Yeah, if God in His infinite wisdom, Master and Creator that He is, created all the other things, I believe that He created things like aliens, Bigfoot, um, some of the other subjects that we've all been talking about here on our podcast and stuff. So let's dive in. Tonight we are going to be talking about the Miami Mall alien encounter, cover up or what? Okay. I don't know if any of the listeners out there may have heard about it. Certainly it was not on the TV because I
Oh,
think it got squashed.
yes, it did.
And yeah, so basically, how I first heard of it was from my son. He and his wife and my grandchildren come over last Friday, and they were headed out of town, and they wanted to come see us. And he's like, "Mom, did you hear about the Miami alien encounter?" I'm like, "No, what's going on?" So he kind of filled me in on it, and then I started looking at it, and then we kind of had another subject or topic that we were going to go with tonight. And Sister Mary, she brought it up, and I said, "Hey, let's go with that. Let's go with it." So tonight we will be discussing, and any viewers, listeners that want to pop in and ask any questions or put their opinions in, you can now do that. We can see you as you come in the show and your questions and stuff. So feel free to do that. But as right now, without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Sister Mary, and then the two of us will chime in. And we all three have done our research on the topic. So, yeah, we'll all three put our opinions in.
Sounds good.
Want to go ahead, girl?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So on January 1st in Bayside Miami Mall, there was an incident where over 100 police cars were called out to the mall, and it looked like a city moving down the road with these police cars.
Crazy.
Mhm.
There were, at one point, someone said they heard what sounded like a shot or an explosion, said more like a shotgun blast, and 61,000 homes were without electricity in that area around that mall.
Wow. Hmm.
So here is what we were told it was. We were told that it was a group of youths, a group of teenagers that were fighting with sticks, possibly shooting fireworks at one another. So I'm going to say sticks, maybe Roman candles or bottle rockets or
Yeah.
whatever. And that was the story that was told. And then people saw not only 100 vehicles, emergency vehicles, but it was strictly law enforcement. There were no fire trucks.
Mm-mm.
There were no fire or first aid or ambulances, nothing like that. Simply police cars and 3 Black Ops helicopters flying overhead.
Black Ops. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's absolutely documented.
Yep.
So, I mean, you can look at it if they were shooting fireworks, if they felt there was a potential danger of fire. Why were there no fire trucks? Why was there no medical responses or anything like that? And we're talking about a group of about 40, they say about 40 young people. But they called out over 100 police cars.
Yeah.
And then with the power grid going down, that it just didn't add up. It didn't make sense. And then there have been several eyewitnesses, I want to say in probably no less than 30, that said that they saw at the courtyard where the flame of friendship was, and you would have to look at the video, you can look it up and watch it, 8 to 10 foot beings walking in that area.
Hmm.
And even one of the guards that were inside of the hotel said he saw 3 young people plug in what appeared to be a small laptop or a small VHS or something, plugged it into an outlet in the middle of the mall. they saw a large circle of light and saw something stepping out of it, the foot and the arm of something coming out of it.
Oh,
So
girl,
that was, yeah,
you got more research than I did.
that was the report from there's two platforms, and I can give you those names. It's well, Omar Gosh is one of them, but the other one was an independent. And here's the thing: I looked at that mall and the photographs. There were video cameras everywhere in that
Yeah.
mall, in that courtyard, even up on the Friendship Flame. Why is there no footage of what was actually taking place in the front of that courtyard? I saw the shadowy figure and it looked tall. They said from the
Yeah.
way it was filmed, it had to be somewhere between 8 and 10 foot tall.
That's pretty darn tall. Yep.
Some reports even said 12 foot.
Mm.
So that is kind of the layout to, the story. Um, and it's so strange. I personally think that it's defined better. What happened there is defined better by what it's not. I do not believe that it was a gang of 40 youths shooting fireworks at each other.
Mm.
I think that Black Ops helicopters is overkill for that, and
Well,
100 police cars.
yeah, I do know that that area down there is very, you can't go anywhere and feel safe because I
Right.
was down there one time and we were walking in the mall down there, and it might have even been the same mall.
Yeah,
Not sure,
basically.
but yeah, and we were pulled aside and told to get in the restaurant that we had just passed. And I was like, why? We just got in the mall. No, come here, come. You don't
Yeah.
understand. And whenever I looked up ahead of us, there was a gang. They were all in trench coats and stuff like that, and we were told to get out of their way and give them, their space and let them go
Yeah.
on by us. The gangs are very prevalent down there. Kids are
Absolutely.
fighting each other. It's a horror scene
It
down
is.
there as far as teens and all of the gangs and stuff fighting each other. So for them to call that many police out and stuff like that, that's highly likely. But what gets me is the black ops.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I can agree that it gets pretty violent at times down there, as it does anywhere. Miami's
Right.
not the only. It's not the only state that has problems like that. But yeah, it seems to me like it might be overkill, like you said, with the black ops. So
Well, and the camera, I mean, there's cameras everywhere. They show the cameras inside the mall, inside the courtyard, but yet there's not been any video footage. And I thought, well, they're probably going to say, well, because they were youths, because they were underage, we can't show that. But they're completely denying it. I mean,
yeah,
there's no probable deniability. They're like, no, that's exactly what it was. Move along, nothing to see. And I have a really hard time believing that. I do believe that there are other options that we can look at before we get to the finalization. I think the first one is tech, that it's man-made, that it was false as far as the large shadowy figures, that it could be the government or the military. I mean, the capability to produce these type of visions or these type of these what we would call an apparition are there. The second one might be Project Bluebeam, which is all about hologram, 3D, artificial intelligence, AI. I mean, the capabilities that they have now to project holographic things in the sky, on the earth,
yeah,
even auditory into people's brains, telling them, whatever. I mean, the capability that mass capability is there now. We
yeah.
are there. I mean, AI, like I said, VR, AI, all of
Hmm.
that. It's all there.
The
So
AI is really scary. I mean, they have artificial intelligence now that looks just like a human.
absolutely.
It interacts like a human. I mean, we're there. We're in that technology already. It's just not been brought so prevalent, and so forward and smacking you in the face with it yet, but that's coming.
And
That's coming where robots will replace us. You hear me?
think about DNA. Think about what they can now do with DNA,
Yeah.
with your own personal DNA. I mean, they can create. They could create. We've saw for years in science fiction movies, we saw where they would take a man and they would do things to him to create the perfect soldier. The
Yeah.
perfect
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
Like
And I mean,
Universal Soldier. Yeah.
absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
the technology is there, and I mean, how when you think about an 8 or a 9 foot soldier, I mean, like I said, it could be, the first one, like I said, could be just tech, government, military, could be this Project Blue Beam, with all the VR, and who knows what Elon's doing,
Yeah. Right.
So,
We don't
you
want to
know,
think about
Lord.
there's, it's crazy as she talks on her Starlink, but
Yeah.
but
Oh
and
God.
so logistics, media, all of that played into it. The way it was crushed so immediately
Yeah.
is it's kind of telling, and I mean, so that brings us, I guess, to personally my, the third point, that it's real. It's real, you
Yeah.
know? And but what is it if it's real? Is it alien? Is it from space? Is it dimensional? Is it nefarious? Is it angelic? Is it demonic? I mean, what is it?
I don't feel
So
like it's demonic. If
no, I
anything,
don't either.
it's and it's not even angelic.
No,
I feel in my heart of hearts, and of course, my opinions like buttholes. Everybody's got one, but I feel in my heart and in my gut that this is another creature
hmm,
that God put out in the solar system on other planets. And because, like you said, if He created us, He had to have created, other species out
right,
there. Look at
yeah,
the vast array of animals that God created, and we ain't even found all of them yet. We're everyday people, out there in the wilderness and stuff like that, and scientists and archaeologists and stuff like that. They are finding different types of creatures all the
right,
time,
yep,
whether
yes, they
whether
are.
they be alive or dead. And who's God, man. If you stop and you think about God, He is such a master of
Mhm.
everything that He put His hands to.
Well, he's a god of
Um,
science, and
yeah,
he's a
yeah,
god of math,
yeah,
because that's
yeah,
what holds this whole thing together.
yeah, yeah.
So, absolutely.
I
So,
kind of feel like it is real. I sat today, and I wasn't feeling really well today, but I sat there in my chair and stuff while I was just fiddling around watching TV and wasn't much on, and something popped into my head. So I was thinking about the show tonight, and I was like, okay, let me look in my mind's eye and think about this, about the creatures and them being 8 to 10 to maybe 12 foot tall.
right,
Um, could it have been, and like I know that when you've been with me on investigations, when you guys were on the team with me, um, you know how you're sitting in maybe the dark and you turn a flashlight on and say somebody's in front of you and standing in front of you, and you turn that flashlight on and you shine it at them. Well, behind them is their shadow figure. Okay.
true,
And the shadow figure, according to the directional way that you are showing the flashlight, or flashing the flashlight on them, it makes your shadow figure look like it could be 10 foot tall, you
yes,
know?
that's true,
N-
that is
Yeah.
true.
Now, was it something of that nature, or was it actual alien? Um, my mind just went, "Bloop," I just had my circuit to blow whenever I thought about that. I'm like, oh gosh, that's a good point. And but girls, I don't know really. like I was telling Sylvia today when we were talking, I'm kind of like, on a proverbial wooden sawhorse. I'm sitting right in the middle of that thing, and I can go one way or I can go the other.
I agree.
Yeah, but then
Well,
you look at some of the other videos and stuff on YouTube.
right?
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff out there about aliens, y'all, and I dare say from the very beginning, Area 51. And
Hmm.
some of the
Yep.
people some of the government has come forward and said, yes, we know that aliens exist. We've been visited by them, and then all of a sudden, nothing else. They shut them up quick. So I don't know. This is a good topic, really good show topic too, and
I thought
I
so.
don't know
It's current. It's happening now. We need
now.
to stay on top of those things that are happening day by day. And what better way though to gain compliance of people? Let's just say it like that, than
Mm,
to project something and says, "Oh, yeah, that's an alien or that's a, and we're going to welcome them." And it's kind of like the left hand's over here doing something. That's why
yeah.
the first two, whether it's governmental, military, or whether it's AI, and I think they play together. AI, CERNs, all that play with the government. They do all that,
Or
and
whether it be the Men in Black.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I mean, it
Yeah.
could be a distraction for something else that's going on. I mean, if they're able to do that, it could be a distraction. But I do have a theory, and you can call it alien if you want to, that it could possibly have been Nephilim.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what that is, I suggest you look it up, but that it could be
Mhm.
a reappearance of Nephilim that existed prior to the flood and prior to Noah, and they were
Yeah.
destroyed in the flood. But it could be they could have gone into the earth and come back out. I don't know. Like I said, alien, Nephilim. Um, I don't think it's angelic. I don't think it's
No,
demonic.
no,
Um, I don't
I
think it's
don't
either
either.
one of those things. So, but we can continue. Sylvia, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah.
I'm straddling a big old fence. You hear me?
I'm right there
Okay,
beside you on my wooden horse.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm getting splinters. I'm just letting y'all know I'm getting some
Oh,
splinters.
oh,
But
Ow.
but the black ops thing is what really throws me off.
yeah.
And I don't know if it would be alien. It could have been something that was experimental in nature, maybe that the government was trying, and therefore black ops was there. Um, the other thing that thought was kind of confusing about it, and that may have been the case, if it was the youth out there that were doing this, and there were 40 or 50 of them out there with fireworks or whatever, that could have been the case. And maybe they were too young to show their mugshots or whatever. But
Could
I
have
do
been
think it's kind of odd that if that was the case, that there weren't some photographs of them as a group creating chaos in that
exactly.
area.
I
You know,
agree. Yes,
they
I
may
agree.
not could have taken pictures of them individually and put them in the paper, but as a group, if they were out there doing that, a reporter, somebody, body cam, something, it seems like could have picked up
Mhm.
pictures of them creating that chaos. So I do think it's kind of strange that I don't know. In the research that I did, I never saw any pictures like that. If they exist, I haven't seen them.
Right.
Well, and let's talk to the black ops. Like you said, that's what throws you off. Why did 61,000 homes lose power?
True.
I don't know that
So true.
it does make you wonder if there wasn't something nefarious in nature going on, or something that someone didn't want us to know about, or maybe some technology that got got thrown in the middle of nowhere like a mall, and they're coming in to protect it, turning off the lights, calling in all the cops, having the black ops swirling around. I mean, you don't know. The problem is with stuff like this is that you're never really going to know the truth.
Right.
Mhm.
Just
Or
like Area 51. If they opened it up and we could all go tour Area 51, then there you go. We might have our answers. But, you
well,
know,
and there were a couple of people that withdrew. They made statements. They made very poignant statements that they saw these things, and then
mhm.
they withdrew. Like just almost immediately, they said this, and then they withdrew. Okay, so was it a lie? Were they lying, or did somebody get to them?
Yeah, I
Well,
was just fixing to say that. Or did the men in black do the little thing and poop, their memory's gone?
Right?
That's
Did you
reaching
flashy?
far out
Did you
there.
flashy
usually
thing me?
Did you
Yeah.
flashy thing me? Yeah.
any usually if someone makes a statement and then withdraws it, think of any mob movie you've ever watched. That means
Yep.
somebody got to them and told them to shut up.
That's right.
Yep. Yep.
Well, and I watched one video. A young man was calling his father. His father is on the sheriff's department there, and are on, and their police force. In fact, the father is running for sheriff of Miami-Dade.
Yeah.
Oh,
And his son called him, videoed the phone call, and asked his dad. He said, "What happened?" And he said, "I can't talk about it." And now I heard this on the video. He said, "What
Yep.
do you mean you can't talk about it?" He said, "Dad, it's everywhere." He said, he said, "We cannot talk about it. I cannot
Mhm.
talk about it."
oh, that's interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yep.
Why would why would somebody be told not to talk about it? That
Exactly.
you cannot talk about it.
Because we're
Exactly.
not supposed to know about it. This is something that they are keeping us in the dark about all the way back to Area 51 and probably even further back that we don't even know about.
Well, and think about that 8 to 10 foot being. Was that a universal soldier? Did they put that one out there? Was that something
Mhm.
from the government sent to help break up the rioting or whatever you want to call it? They didn't even call it a riot. They just said 40 youths were just fighting with sticks. I don't
Hmm.
know. It's
I
crazy.
don't either. It takes me back to that movie that they always play around July when July comes in,
Um,
Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Yeah, yeah, with Will Smith and
Right.
Right.
but
Right.
yeah, I'm like, could that happen? You
Yeah.
know, you see on there's even some on TikTok. There is some on, of course, YouTube videos that people are out and about doing their daily routine, and then all of a sudden they look up, and then there's some kind of a formation or a shape of something in the clouds or in the sky, and they're videoing it, and they're putting it on multimedia platforms for people to look at. And man,
Right.
sometimes it'll baffle the mind. I mean, what
Yeah.
about, let's step one step further. There is a video out there that has, I don't know who, I can't remember who filmed it or whatever, but there is a video out there that shows, like, up in the sky, it shows the clouds, and then all of a sudden you see these two figures, and these are winged figures that go to flying in and out of the clouds, and it's like they're chasing each other. They're not fighting or anything, I don't believe, but they look like they're just having fun with each other back and forth. And I automatically thought, okay, CGI.
Yeah. Yeah.
That has to be
Oh yeah.
something that's not real. But then when you look at it back, so many times like I did, I begin to wonder, is that real? Or is that
Right.
CGI? Because we have the technology to just about
To
make
create.
anything. Look
Yeah.
at Star Wars. Oh my God, when Carrie Fisher passed away, they wanted to finish Star Wars, and they CGI'd her into
Right.
the movie. She
Yeah.
looked real.
Yep.
She looked real. So
Um,
we have that technology, but
we
what
do.
was it? You know, if you
There's
Right.
girls
probably
haven't
all
seen
kinds
that,
of technology out there that we have, um, that sometimes I wonder if we use it or why it hasn't been used. You
Right.
know, to me, it's kind of the same thing in in medicine. I feel like maybe there are cures for certain diseases that are out there,
Too much
but
Yeah.
money in research, Sylvia.
but is the
Yeah.
pharmaceutical company going to want those cures to come out,
No.
because then they lose their money?
Yep.
Hmm.
Researchers too. That's why I said there's too much money in research.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
So, there's no telling what kind of technology is truly available, you know.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a CGI. This thing was crazy. I don't even know what it was supposed to be. It was crawling down the middle of a road, and this guy was talking about it, and it just had like six legs. This thing looked insane. It was CGI, and the way they figured it out was the person filming was so calm as they were filming, because
No,
there
Yeah.
is
they weren't
no
like,
way,
oh my God.
there
Yeah.
is no way, if that thing was crawling 50 feet from me, that I would be in any way, in any kind of shape, to just
Yeah.
hold the camera still and just watch it. No, no.
Just calmly, look at all
Girl,
those
I
legs.
tell
Yeah.
you, my brain would have been saying, "Feet don't fail me now," and it would have been
Right.
trying to get these feet and legs of mine going because I wouldn't be around
Girl,
if it
cool
was
in the
something.
gang, wrapping
Yeah,
wires and going.
right. Wrap that cord up. Let's go, baby. Get off of this. The hell with the music. Let's go. Let's
Let's
We
go.
go.
got to
It's
go.
Let's
going
go.
down. Yeah. Yeah. I tell you, it's I sometimes shudder to think, yeah, are there monsters out there as we consider them to be monsters?
Mm,
Yeah, I'm sure there are. But the real monsters, guess what?
they're the peoples.
They're in here.
Yeah,
They're in here.
yeah,
And we
yeah.
sometimes manifest them and bring them forward. It's just like with spirits and ghosts and things of that nature. Sometimes they're real, sometimes they are not, because
Right.
of one situation or another. Um, Medical reasons, all schizophrenia, you name
All
it.
of it. And
Yeah, all that entails. Yes.
yeah. Mm, yep,
If you want to
absolutely.
know if there's monsters, just look at Manson and you have your answer. There are monsters.
Right.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
we talked a little bit last week, and I'm not going to get off the subject about the Paracomic-Con, and I'm super excited for horror Paracomic-Con, because I'm a
Horror.
Me too.
horror
Me too.
movie nut. Always have been, always. And people will ask me, because anybody that knows me knows that about me and how much I love it. And they will say, "But Mary, what scares you? I want to know what scares you. And what's the scariest movie that you personally have ever seen?" And I have no problem telling them that the movie is called In Cold Blood. It was written by Truman Capote, and it was starring Scott Wilson and Robert Blake. And it's a
Mm,
story about a farmhouse family that was murdered, brutally murdered by two
Brutally murdered.
escaped convicts. And when they
mm,
tell me that, they say, "Well, what is the scariest movie you've ever seen?" I said, "That is the one," because it's not the monsters we can't see.
right.
It's the
It's
ones that are sitting next to us on the bus or in the
yeah.
restaurant
Yeah,
or
Right.
they don't
in
have
the car.
6 legs, they have two.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was just talking about something like that the other day with Raymond and Mom. And you don't never know who you're sitting by, even up in the church house. Y'all hear me?
You
I
already
used to
know.
go I used to go to church, and my dad and mom both were ministers in the ministry for 50 years apiece. So that means together 100 years in the ministry. And I used to go to church all the time, and I was sitting right up in that sanctuary, right beside a man that I learned was a child molester.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And
But
when I found that out, that disillusioned me as far as going to church and sitting beside people of that nature. Now I know God, Jesus, he did that all the time because he didn't judge people. He believed everybody had I guess a grace of redemption or
Yeah, they can be
whatever.
redeemed, right?
Yeah, can be redeemed.
Right.
But I just felt like for my soul and my children that were there, they were young at this time. I wasn't going to be sitting up underneath no sanctuary, whether it was my daddy pastor, mama pastor, whoever pastoring. I wasn't going to sit up in there with somebody like that. It wasn't, I was, well, yeah, I'm going back to choo choo back up. I kind of was judging them, yes, and that's wrong. You're not supposed to do things like that because that's left up to God. But I didn't feel that my kids needed to be around him because
No,
he
you have to
always
be
pulled my
wise.
kids to him. Yeah, always pulled my kids to him and was hugging them and stuff.
No.
And first of all, I thought, okay, he's being nice, that's okay. But then whenever I learned what he was, I was like, nope,
And there's
nope,
so much of it in it. And they come where people are open and welcoming, and these monsters will go in where people are open. And church is
yeah,
a very open place, or it should be an open place.
should
The
be, but it's
problem
not.
is there's just not a whole lot of wisdom exuded in leadership in churches. And churches now have to have safety teams and security teams. There have been so many attacks because they're vulnerable, they're sheep, and
Yeah,
and the monsters will come in and feed on the sheep. And
hmm,
so yeah, I mean, unfortunately, and from someone that worked in a prison,
yeah,
um, there were a lot of men in that prison that were still very good men that had made mistakes, but there were some monsters there too.
yeah,
Yeah.
And that was really hard. Particularly, my husband was in that for years and years, and it was hard for him. It was hard for him to think that someone like that could even be forgiven
right.
because of all the bad.
I
So
know.
yeah, I get it. I get it
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, but the crucifixion was for everybody.
Amen.
Right?
exactly,
It's for
exactly.
everybody.
Yes, it was. It
Yeah,
was.
my
Amen.
you learn hard lessons when you're in the church. One
Yes.
quick example that I can speak on is that my dad, number one, I don't know what it's like now, but when my father was a minister, the churches were never locked. Anybody could go in at any
Yeah.
time and
Yep.
pray. They were always open.
Right.
He was 99% of the time in the church office, and he would have people come in asking for money to be able to buy food for their family, or they were driving
Yeah,
down the road, need to get gas or whatever.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember those days.
And
Yep.
yeah, and he used to just give them the money. Here's the
Oh yeah.
money, you know.
Yeah.
And then over time, he would find out that they would have taken the money and gone to the liquor store or done whatever. Not so. What he ended up doing, and sometimes people would storm out because they weren't getting what they wanted. But the people that really needed food, let's say, for example, he would say to them, "Well, I tell you what, I'll take you up to the grocery store
Yeah.
and we'll buy food for you and your family and we will pay for it." And
Right.
there's
Hmm.
some that would do that and some that would not. But with a church in particular, since it is so open and accommodating to people, I think we need to learn to not deny people things when they're in
No.
need, but to make sure they're going to use it for what they say they're going to use it for.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Absolutely. So
getting back,
anyway,
yeah, go
so
ahead and get back to
I
the
guess
topic.
I guess we were talking about monsters,
Yeah, we've
and
wondered.
I think I think that we were all on the same page with, mankind is the biggest monster,
Yeah.
as a result, unfortunately. And so, um, but what is this? I mean, I wish Sandy was here because
I do too.
Sandy, she is kind of our go-to girl on alien life
Yeah. And Bigfoot. She is
and
very
Bigfoot.
knowledgeable on both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny. She sent the pictures of her holding the iguana the other day, and
Yeah.
she's big on reptilians.
Mhm.
She doesn't want anything to do with reptilians and believes in reptilians. And I said, "Oh Lord, Sandy, they got you." She said, "Oh no, because she was holding this iguana." And then tonight she put a picture up there. Um, oh goodness, what is that?
That's a picture
Uh,
from the mall.
Oh, that's
The
the mall
mall
picture.
picture.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Stan
yeah.
did that. Thank you, Stan. We appreciate
Yeah,
that.
thank you, Stan. And that was right around that courtyard position where that thing was walking.
Yeah.
Anybody can go online. I mean, the videos are still up. I don't know how long they'll be up, but the
But look
video
at
Mm-mm.
that
itself is still
massive
up.
amount of police presence. Is
It's
that not crazy?
it is absolutely insane because I mean it's 40 kids,
Yeah.
with sticks. And I mean, I know it is a bad area. I mean, Miami-Dade is the law enforcement there have their hands full a lot. There's a lot of, you know, but I don't know. I really don't know, guys. I think I've got a feeling about that and
Yeah. I do
what it
too.
actually was. So, but
Well,
anyway,
whatever it was overkill. If it
it
was
was,
just those kids, it was overkill.
yep,
Right.
And
absolutely.
if it wasn't
Absolutely.
those kids, and those black op helicopters were there for a reason.
And why are the police saying we can't talk about it?
Mm.
All they
There's
have
a
to
racist
say
in-
is all they would have to do is read their script again and go, "Oh no, it was 40 youths and they were fighting and we just called out more. It was overkill on our part and whatever." But no, there's been none of that. It's been we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's odd,
Yeah.
Well,
I
Um,
saw
I
one
do have
police
to.
officer that had made a statement, and basically it wasn't aliens. It was kids with fireworks,
Yeah.
and that's the end. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw one police officer say, "I can assure you, there are no aliens in Bayshore at this time." At this time,
At
At
this
this time.
I'm like, what?
But wait,
That
there has to
doesn't
be a
that
time for
doesn't
them to show up. What?
that doesn't mean that they weren't there on January the 1st.
exactly.
Exactly.
Doesn't
There's some
mean
more
that.
that Stan is posting
Thank
up
you,
for us.
Stan.
Yeah, you guys, if you listen to our show and stuff, you've got to go online and see for yourself. This
Absolutely.
is a very controversial subject, and now I do have to play devil's advocate, like I said a while ago. Been there, been to Miami, Dade
It's
County.
dangerous.
I
Yep.
don't want to go back. I will never go back because back whenever we went when my kids was little, it was a hellhole. It was a cesspool. Okay. And these kids, these are kids in age, but they are so much advanced as
Yeah.
far as doing wrong and doing evil, and they don't shoot. They don't give a crap. They will pull out a pistol and shoot your butt in a New York second.
What was the old saying? Last American out of Miami, bring the flag, or something like that.
Right,
I mean,
right.
it's
The
like a different country. It literally is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's crazy down there. So we never know. We never know. Could it be aliens that they saw?
Could be.
That ignited the fireworks fight or stick fight or whatever it was. Um, I don't know. That's why when you sent me the little picture that I made the banner of with the alien with the shopping bags,
I
I was
loved
like,
him.
oh my God, that fits this.
He was
It was so
shopping.
cute.
He
Yeah,
was just he was
he
going
was
to eat at
shopping.
the Chili's, and then he was going to Spencer's. You
That's
know.
Yeah,
right.
So,
Yep. Looking for some prank gifts for
we won't
people.
tell what he
Yeah.
was looking for at Spencer's. But yeah,
we're not dead.
right, right, right.
That's
But
funny. Oh,
Lord, did you find
Kevin,
anything else that was interesting in the research? I got just about everything that you've got. I'm looking at my notes down here,
right?
and
Yeah,
I've got everything that you pretty much got, and I know Sylvia did too.
yeah.
I did.
I went.
I did my research. I
Did
did
you
it.
do the research? I'm so
I
proud.
did. It wasn't just
Listen,
opinions.
and I went a little more to the biblical side. What's really unique about this is all of us were brought up uh, in Judeo Christianity. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
but the world is bigger than that little Sunday school room,
Yeah.
and the
Or
universe is
that
bigger than
pulpit is bigger than
right.
the pulpit too.
And our God can create what He wants to, And like I said, the thing that holds this whole thing together is science and math and all of that. I'm not frightened of those things, but I want to know. That's what we want. We want to know. That is our nature, to
Yeah.
Yeah,
want to
we are
know.
definitely a curious species. We want to
We
know
are
what's
very,
out there. We want
we
to know
do.
what's going on. We want to know what happened.
And what's the
Unfortunately,
purpose?
sometimes we
Yeah.
won't, you know,
No,
sometimes we
no,
won't.
Yeah.
no,
But
no. But
Yeah.
yeah.
like I said, my research, I did it, really from that venue. And so reading a lot about the flood and Noah and the Nephilim that were there. And, of course, we talk, I personally believe that we are living in the book of Revelation at this time. And who
Yes.
knows
Of
what's
course.
going to happen? Who knows what we're going to see and the things that we're going to see?
Well,
And it's not to
the
frighten
Bible
anybody.
speaks about. I'm sorry, baby. Go ahead.
No, no, no. No, I was done.
Well, I was going to say, I remember scripture in the Bible, and you know the Bible more than I do. But where's the scriptures at that? Well, I can't remember who it was, but they saw chariots,
Oh,
flaming chariots in the sky.
absolutely. The wheel within the wheel and Elijah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
And was taken up and then they were gone. There
yeah,
were two men that disappeared, Enoch and Elisha,
there
and
you go.
they were never seen. It says they were no more, they walked with God. That means they never saw death. That means they
Right.
didn't die. They went somewhere. Where did they go? They went into the heavens. They went somewhere. And so, it's it's funny you said we want to know, and you mentioned the scripture, and there is a scripture that says we see through a glass darkly, but when that which is perfect will come, we know in part and we prophesy in part, but when that which is perfect has come, we're going to know it all. So
Yeah,
there's going to come a point that we're going to have knowledge of all of this stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah. There's some things we're not meant to know
Amen.
while we're here, and then
no,
whenever we get over there, we will, God will set us down and talk to us and tell us things.
right, absolutely,
So
absolutely. So keep your eyes on the skies,
there you go.
and there's just so many things we watch. Greg and I love Blind Frog Ranch. We love to watch. That's a plug for Blind Frog Ranch and Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker and
We
yeah,
love those shows because there is some really strange and weird phenomenon that is kind of alien that takes place around those places, and subterraneanly in the earth, you
yeah.
know who knows what's down there? What kind of elemental things are there? That
Well, you never know. There's stranger things out there than what we can imagine because I was watching Mercedes' show last night, and she is one of our guests that's going to be on the show with us soon.
Ooh, yeah.
Um, she had a guest speaker on there, and he is actually out on a ranch, a farm, has a lot of property, and the people around him, his neighbors and stuff, tell him not to go out at night, to be careful if he does. And then one neighbor actually told him, he said, there's a werewolf that lives on the backside of your property.
What?
Yes, and I found that so interesting. I was like, "Oh my Lanta," if I could get out there and actually hear something or maybe even see something. Of course, I'd die of a heart attack,
Well, I'd
but
be behind you.
I
but
want to
this big,
be a
I would be
werewolf.
standing
y- y-
behind you.
yeah, pull up her show from last night and listen to it. It is phenomenal. I mean, I've never. This is the kind of thing that I want for us. I don't want the same old generic vanilla ice
No.
cream. I want all flavors for our show, and
Amen. All right.
the werewolves, the vampires. But I met a vampire in real life, by the way.
We
So yeah, the really macabre stuff,
right.
um, the things that are really not thrown in your face, but whenever you run up on them, bam! It's like somebody hit you with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Get
That's
your
the kind of
imagination
things.
running.
Yes, that's the kind of things because you've said it many times, Mary, and I have too. Once you open the door
Oh yeah.
to expand your mind to what's out there in the world, you better want it because it will
It's
start hitting you
coming.
right in the face.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They
it's
know we're
a
coming.
yeah. 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 And it's made a believer out of me in some things, and then there's some things that I'm thinking, yeah, okay, this is, you know, psychoses and psychotic and all this other kind of stuff, and medicine and whatnot that's causing you to see all this stuff. And man, I tell you, like I said, you got to want, when you say you want it, make sure you do, because when
Right.
that door is opened up to another world, the other worlds that are out there, man, it's going to get you. It's going to scare you a little bit, and it's going to excite you a little bit. It's going to be all of the above. It's
It's
just,
funny. It's funny you mentioned the werewolf and you said, I want to know. I would love to be there. Then Sylvia says, I'll be right there behind you. And I'm like, I
behind
want,
me. I heard her.
and then here
I
I am going,
heard
I want to be a werewolf. I want to be
her.
one.
Well, I used to have the vampire fetish. I mean, yeah, I would have loved to have
Been
been
a-
bitten by Brad Pitt, but
Any
oh,
day,
girl.
anytime, no appointment needed. Absolutely here now.
Mm,
yep, nope.
yep.
And
Yep.
and I've wanted to go to New Orleans because there is a vampire bar there, and
Yep.
I have
The
wanted to go.
dungeon.
I think, yeah, it's called the Dungeon, and
Yep. Been
I've
there.
wanted to go there,
Let's
and that's
go.
still on my bucket list.
Well, then
Let's
we
go.
need to
So,
Let's
go.
go.
yeah, yeah.
I'm there.
Go.
Hey, mark
Well,
it down on one of our trips.
right, absolutely. So can you tell us? Because I know a few of the people. Can you think of some of the people that are going to be on the upcoming shows?
Well, yeah, I got a list right here. And just as I speak, here today's the 17th, the 24th, next Wednesday night, we'll have Mercedes Lucky Benedict on the show. And I'm just going to give her the floor, open up the forum, talk to her, and let her go with it. I mean, she is definitely a interesting young woman, loves what she does. And I'm interested to find out more about her, really, definitely. Okay, and then going into February, hold on just a minute here. Uh, on the 7th of February, we are going to have a group that I know personally, met them over in Defuniac, amazing family group, and they're called the Midnight Girls and Boys.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're going to be awesome as well. And then on the 21st of February, we're going to have Suncoast Paranormal with Sean Daniels. He's one of my online friends and stuff, and he and I chit chat back and forth a lot. Amazing. He goes all over, wherever Sean wants to go, he goes. And he films and documents everything. He makes little clips of all the places that he goes. Really cool, super cool guy. Uh, I've got it planned out where we've got 2 guests per month, and then the sisters are on two nights, per month.
Nice.
So yeah, it's staggered. Sisters, guest.
That's
There
great.
is I put out on the page. I thought about it for a while, and then I said, I'm going to do this. So I put out a casting call for guest, and I put in the post that I made that I wanted the unique. If you live a different life daily than what the norm does, like vampires, like
Right.
lichens, like whatever. That's the casting call that I called for. A woman answered me. Her name is Catherine, and I'm not going to give out her last name or anything. She lives out of state. And I think she's going to be really interesting for the show because she's had a lot of things happen to her. I did speak to her on the phone, and she's going to be amazing. Going to be really interesting. So we got her. And then coming up, the girls popped in earlier. I saw them and then they popped out. They must have been busy. On the 27th of March, we have Ghost Hunting Housewives.
That is
And
so awesome.
how cool is that? Yeah, they were actually at the Paracomic Con last year with Stan and Teresa Fikes, our producers.
Right.
And I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I walked by briefly while I was looking around for stuff because, I'm buying every time I'm at something like that. And I just spoke to them and everything. They seemed like they were really interesting. So I contacted them and they automatically said yes. So they
Awesome.
are going to be on the show and I can't wait to have them. Okay, going into April. Let's see. I'm booked up for April, girls. Yep.
Ooh,
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I got one date, the 24th. Hold on. We're going to have Santiago Cirillo
yeah.
on the show. And oh my God, Santi is how do I describe Santi? He is just a hoot. I was hurting so bad from laughing at listening to him and the things that he had to say. And if you guys don't know Santiago Cirillo, look him up on Facebook. He makes movies and he has been in The Walking Dead.
Girl,
So,
anybody that's been close to Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I want to get next to
girl,
that man.
I knew that was coming. And Norman Reedus. Oh, gosh, yes. Yes,
Sorry, Andy
baby.
Lincoln. Andy Lincoln.
Oh,
Andy Lincoln. Oh, she's an Andy Lincoln girl.
Yes, I am.
yeah,
Yeah, she
yeah.
is.
So,
It's that
but
nose. He's a cutie too.
yeah, and Santiago is just he's funny. He works with a lot of different projects. He does things that help benefits women. He is very pro woman. He's created a logo and stuff that honors women, and he loves children, and he does things to help children out. He's a very busy man, and
Yeah.
Lord help, you go on the Facebook and you go to Hiya Nation,
Mhm.
and Lord, sometimes you have to go, because Santi, he's very colorful with
He's
language.
colorful. He's
But that's
colorful.
that's part of him. That's part of
That's
him. That's
right.
what makes him unique.
I agree.
So I
I
can't
agree.
wait to have him on the show. And I'm still working. I've got some, more feelers out. I've got some
Yeah.
really good people that I've contacted. I'm still waiting to hear back from them and everything. But yeah, it's a great lineup. And I'm going to continue all the way down through December. And you girls are going to try to help me and stuff. And you have contacted Ryan Philippe.
Ryan Buell. Yes.
Oh,
Uh,
Bill, I'm sorry. Ryan Philippe. He's an actor. Yeah, he's one of
yeah.
my
Yeah.
one of my
No, Ryan.
favorites.
I've
Yeah, I
contacted.
wish.
I
Yeah.
contacted Ryan Buell. I'm waiting on an answer, so I'm gonna, do all the things. I'm gonna do the, hypnotic, whatever I have to.
Yeah.
He would just be a very interesting character, not only in the fact that he's been such a big part of the paranormal community, and the fact that he was trained by Lorraine Warren. I mean, not just that, but he has come back from a devastating life choice issue,
Yes.
and
Yes.
has just done amazing, and I really am hoping that his publicist or what will get in touch with me. So yeah, that's the one I'm working on. I'm going to do my best to try to get in touch with him. So
Yep. And I've got a filler out. I haven't heard back yet, but I'm not going to say who. But Mary, we went in behind this very famous TV show and
yes,
did an investigation behind them that she was unable to fix or
right,
correct.
right,
And we went in and we can go. That's for another show. We can go in and tell everything that happened there. But um, I have contacted this young woman, and very popular show. Show is still on TV, but it's with another female now.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I've put fillers out for her. So
that'd
I'm
be
I'm
great.
letting I'm letting it flow. I am where my spirit guides tell me to go and move in that direction. I'm trying to.
Right,
Um, there's only been one that has respectfully declined, and it's only because of her schedule and stuff like that that's going on in her lives and her life and her family's lives. And have to respect that. She's a very cool lady.
yeah,
Love her to pieces. I follow her and listen to her and stuff like that. So, yeah. So one decline, and the rest of them have all been yes, we'd love to. So
exciting, very exciting.
yes, it is very, very exciting, and I'm doing this for our listeners, for Stan, and Web Paranormal or Web. I always say Web Paranormal because it's just right there foremost in my head. But Web Radio Network. He's our
Yes,
producer, Stan Fikes,
he's
along with his
amazing.
wife. Yes, and I want us to be successful, and I really do believe that we are moving in that direction.
I do too. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah.
And so, so for all intents and purposes, whoever's listening to this tonight will have to draw their own conclusions. They'll have to do their own research. If it interests you, this subject that we did on the
Yep.
Miami Mall, alien or what, um, study it. If you come up with something, shoot us a question later on. We'll answer it, or if you have another theory, we want to hear
Yeah.
it.
Amen. Yeah.
And we let me say
Mhm.
this before we go into the sponsors and everything that we do. Um, if by chance any of you came into the live tonight, and if you did put any questions across the board to us, we were not able to see them. I was monitoring it as we were talking and stuff closely this time because I didn't do that last show, and I didn't see anybody at all. So if we did miss your comments tonight, we apologize because some things on our phones as we're doing the show we don't get to see. So, but we will definitely go back through the show, and if there are any comments, we will answer your questions if you had any. Okay. Is there anything else that you two sisters want to say before we close out the show?
Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow.
Oh, I know. I know. I'm excited. Excited. There's going to be
Trip.
some cool things that we do tomorrow together. Sandy will not be with us. Let me get it out. Sandy will not be with us tomorrow because, of course, she's cruising. And so the three of us are going to get together, and we're going to go over into Greenville and Alabama, and we are going to have a good time and just see what we can drum up over there, and maybe a live or two for you guys. Depends on what we get into.
It should be fun.
Right?
We're going to be
Yeah.
doing our own form of cruising.
Yeah, we will. No telling what the three sisters will get into, minus the one, so I'm looking forward to it.
I am
Sometimes you need
too.
to get out, need some fresh air and get out. So,
I'm just ready to see you guys. I haven't seen you except on here for a while.
right.
So,
I hadn't seen you since before Christmas.
girl. Ooh.
What the hootie
What the
hey?
hell,
I
hey?
mean, yeah. What the hootie hey? I mean, come on now.
I know. I know. I already know. So,
Right? But we want to thank our producer first and foremost, which is W.E.B.B Radio Network and W.E.B.B Paranormal, Stan and Teresa Fikes. They are amazing individuals and doing what they do. They don't get enough praise for it, that's for sure. Also, they are planning it's the third. Yes, it's the third annual Paracomic-Con in Ozark, Alabama on October. Let me get this right, Teresa and Stan. October 5th and 6th this year. So they are planning all kinds of really cool things like they did last year, but this year is going to be bigger and better as a new subject for the con, and it's going to be horror for this year. So and
Oh.
Mary's a horror buff. I know she is. She loves horror movies and everything horror.
yeah. Yeah.
So y'all put that on your calendar, and as it gets closer to the date, we will definitely be giving you updates on everything as Stan and Teresa share them with the Sisterhood. And then the next thing is my beautiful babies down in Enterprise, Alabama, Rogue Turtle.
Yeah.
They sponsor us, and she tells me, Mama Sarah, anything that you need. I said, baby, I don't need anything. We're good, but if you have any metaphysical needs whatsoever, or you just love crystals and gemstone jewelry and local artists and all of the above, all that entails. I mean, go to 202 in South Main Street in Enterprise, Alabama, and check out my little adopted babies down there, Erin, or she goes by Aurora, and her husband Ryan. So we can't thank them enough. I love them just like they were my own children. So, but that's it for tonight. Is there anything else that you girls would like to say?
Have a great rest of the week.
Yeah, and stay
Stay safe.
warm.
Stay warm. Get warm.
Stay warm.
Keep your eyes on the skies and stay out of the
Yes,
mall.
there you
Yes.
go. I don't go to the mall anyway. That mall's crazy.
Go to the mall.
If I got the money to go over there and pay those prices for that stuff, then I would go. But Lord, I ain't going. I am a
Right? I started to
I
say that should be a lesson to us to stay out of the mall. Right?
stay out of the malls. I have a champagne taste on a beer budget. So, all right, sisters. Well, thank you, everybody. If you watch this after the live, thank you so much for taking your time to listen to it. And if you were with us tonight and we didn't happen to see you, we're so sorry. We apologize for that. We're going to fix that next week. And Stan and Teresa, thank y'all so much. We appreciate you more than you will ever know. And Rogue Turtle, we appreciate you more than you will ever know. All right. It's hasta la vista, baby.
Journey on.
Good night.
All right. Good night, everybody. God
Good night.
bless. Stay warm wherever you are in the world. And we will see you again next Wednesday night
Love you,
at
sister.
9:15. I love you too, baby. At
Love y'all.
9:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. Love you too, girl. All righty. Have a good night, everybody. And we will see you on the flip flop. Bye, sis. Love
Bye.
y'all.